Hey, good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing today? Hope you are doing great. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you've had a productive day. Jumping right back in to the week. Hey, Christy. I see you on. Good to see you. Tonight's topic, another interesting topic coming up. Hey, big brother. I see that you're on with us tonight. Glad to have my family on with me. Always. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, everybody who joined us last week for the virtual launch party of Miss Council, my brand, and my new website. I hope you all went out to check it out, misscouncilknows.com. Check out my new website. It tells you how you can work with me. It lets you know that the book is for sale, how to purchase the book, and lets you know information about me, my background, my bio, why I do what I do, when I do what I do. So please go and check it out, misscouncilknows.com. Thank you all so much for continuing to join me every week on Monday and Thursday night right here on Facebook Live. Facebook Live. Hey, Auntie, I see that you're on with us tonight. Thanks for joining. I appreciate all of my friends and family joining me as I continue on this journey. I started this journey about, a couple months ago? About 3 months. It's almost 3 months.
Almost three.
Going on 3 months ago. Y'all know my husband is always nearby. I tell you that he is. So, you know his voice now. And we got a chance to see him on Thursday night. But I started this journey a few months ago right here on Facebook Live. And I love my audience. He says, I was scared. Hey, Freddie. Hey, thanks for joining. Um, but I was scared to death. I was scared to death. And my husband was on the opposite side of the table writing notes and saying, say this, say that. Because I was like, y'all probably didn't even realize it. But thank you so much for your support. It gives me the courage to keep doing it. When I hear your stories and I hear your feedback, I just love that. It helps me so much. Hey, girl. Hey, Rosa. So thank you all so much for joining me once again. Y'all know I'm Miss Council, and I am a relationship expert and a life coach. And I know a little bit about everything, but I work with, I help women who are divorced and remarried get their lives back and help them have successful second marriages. Please go out and join the group. It's a Facebook group called Divorced Like Us. That's for women only, divorced women only. So divorced and remarried women. So that's the caveat. You got to have been divorced first or remarried. And so it's a support group that I'm going to be helping women. We're going to be having conversations. So if you know somebody, if it's not you, if you know someone, please share it with them. Please like and share this video. Go out and check out my other videos. I always post the videos on my timeline so that you can go and see the videos that I've posted in the past, because sometimes I'm referencing them in my current video. So you can go back and listen to them, and again, just share them. Tag somebody who needs that information. And like my girl Rosa tells me all the time, this is not just for divorced women. She's a single woman and never been married. So of course she hasn't been divorced, but she shares with me feedback and lets me know her thoughts on it and how it has helped her. So thank you all so much for continuing to join me on this journey. Well, also, two more things that I wanted to do. I wanted to shout out uh, our winners from last week on Thursday. We had so much fun, y'all. I thought I was at a party for real. I was over here dancing, and we were playing games. So I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm trying to figure out how we could do that again. So Renita Brundage and Charlene uh, Calloway. So you both are our winners, and I mentioned that we pulled names on Thursday night, but you will be getting your Miss Council Knows tumblers. Hey, sis, I see you're on. I also want to say congratulations to my brother and his beautiful bride, the Councils, who are newlyweds. So shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Council. Thank you for joining us tonight. So those are now the church announcements are done. So let's jump right into this topic. I'm sure that you're thinking, I can do bad all by myself. Hey, Toya, thanks for joining. I could do bad by myself. How to deal with negative people. I thought I'd elaborate a little bit on it. But y'all remember that song, I Could Do Bad by Myself? Who sang that song? Somebody know? I ain't got no prize for you tonight, but who sang that song? I could do bad by myself, and I don't need no help to starve to death. Y'all remember that song? Y'all hit the thumbs up if y'all remember that song. I could do bad by myself. Now I'm not talking about that Tyler Perry movie, I could do bad all by myself, but kind of along the same lines. You don't need any help to starve to death. But that song was a lot. And I remember as a child hearing that, because y'all know I got an old soul. Hey, Eleanor. I got an old soul. And, back when I was a kid, I was spinning records at a very young age. So uh, I knew the music. I talked about it in our live launch on last week, that my first job, I was a radio DJ in Columbus, where I'm from. And um, uh, I knew this music growing up, but that song was a lot. I can do bad by myself. I don't need no help to starve to death. I was too young to understand at the time, but as I grew older, I got an understanding of what that meant. As I grew up and I dealt with more people and relationships, I understand it stood the true meaning. And what it was is that you don't need anybody to add to your struggle. I said it. You don't need anyone to add to your struggle. I mean, we all go through things at times in life, and we can call it the struggle, our journey. We can call it rainbows in paradise all we want to. Hey, Ayana, thanks for joining. But we don't need anybody to be adding to our struggles. We just don't. There's some very negative people out there in the world. And, I couldn't understand at some point in time why I was a magnet for them. Anybody else feel like you're a magnet for negativity? Y'all hit the heart. Y'all hit your likes, because I know I can't be the only person that's just had attracted such negative people, and it's just like they just kept latching on to me. Hey, little brother, I see you're on. Um, but they just kept latching on to me. I couldn't understand, like, what am I doing? Like, how do I keep finding these people? The people that suck the life out of you with their negative thoughts. It's a me against the world, and it's everybody else's fault that they're not successful. I'm talking about the type of people who never take responsibility for their own actions. Anybody? I see those hearts. I see those lights going up. But I'm talking about the people who never take responsibility for their actions, and they always complaining about how they can't get ahead. But it's never anybody else's fault. Those are the negative people. You don't need nobody to add to your struggle. I often wondered why I ended up with those people in my life. And I realized that somewhere on my forehead, it said, I help everybody in need. Clearly, it must be written somewhere on my forehead. And it just drew people in. I ended up talking to those people, or much worse, being in a relationship with them. Anybody had those relationships with somebody who was a negative person and just couldn't get right? I couldn't get it. But don't get me wrong. I'm not the type of person to kick anybody when they're down. But it just seemed that I kept running into those people who had the failure to launch in life. Y'all ever watched that movie, Failure to Launch? Y'all know what I'm talking about. They just never really took off. They're still stuck at like age 19 and they 35. They just never went anywhere. So that's what I'm talking about. Those type of people. You may not be where you want to be in your life, but why would you want to add somebody else who is in the struggle to your already difficult situation? I'm just saying, you just putting something in there. You put something up in the mix that don't really belong. You want to add some more oil to the batter? Guess what? The cake is going to fall. It's too oily. I'm just saying, you're already in a slippery situation. Why do you want to add somebody else? Or maybe you're doing well in your life. Then if you're doing well in your life, then why don't you get somebody who is where you are? They say meet somebody where they are, but you don't have to meet somebody where they are if they're not where you are. If you up here, you got to come down here to get with them, then something's wrong with that. Obviously, something's wrong with that. A true helpmate is somebody that's going to do that. They're going to help you and they're not going to hinder you. You know, they're going to prop you up on each side, like literally. If you're down and you're sick, they're going to take care of you. And then y'all can go on and be their power couple. Everybody talking about a power couple. But a power couple consists of two people who are working together to do better. But a power couple doesn't consist of one person who ain't doing nothing and the other person who's doing great and trying to prop up that other person. I'm just saying, y'all can be mad with me if you want to, but I'm just telling it like it is. Y'all know how I am. So I know you're wondering, like, how do you deal with these people, these negative people in your life? How do you really deal with them? Well, first of all, I'm gonna tell you, stop being Captain Saver. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember that song that said, "Don't save her. She don't want to be saved." Now, I'm not trying to talk about saving them spiritually. I'm talking about saving them from their situation. Stop trying to help everybody. You know, I know those kind-hearted people of you who are out there just like me. You know, you're struggling with this one. But what I mean is you got to be careful with who you are charitable with. Now, might I suggest that instead you gather your gently used clothing and donate them. Volunteer at the food bank or a soup kitchen. But what you don't do is give them some money, your time, or space because they're only using you. I'm just trying to say, you don't need help starving to death, right? You can do bad by yourself. I'm trying to say you're inviting people in. Again, anybody else with that tattooed across your forehead? That was me. Let me make it plain because maybe I'm not being clear on what I'm talking about. Don't allow people to latch on to you that aren't providing any value to your life. Yes, you should be getting something out of it. You ever hear people talk about reciprocation? You know, you getting back, in turn, getting something back. Now, people will say that, you know, you shouldn't be in it to see what you can get out of it. This ain't Christmas. It's just not. You should be getting something out of it. When we go to an interview, you should be interviewing that company as well because you should be so confident in yourself and your abilities and knowing what you have to offer. If you know what you have to offer, you're not going to just accept anything. So why? In relationships, do we just accept what's given to us? I've talked about that before. Stop accepting what's given to you and hydrate. Y'all drinking y'all water today? I'm just saying. You know, I'm doing all the talking over here. But, you know, what value? When you're meeting somebody, what value? And some people may say it's wrong to assess the value, but why not? You're going to buy a house and not know how much it's worth. You're going to end up paying $300,000 for a house that's really only worth $150,000. Where is the value in that? You know, I'm just saying get you an appraisal. Do your own appraisal and finding out, is this going to be of value to me? What can that person do for me? Now, I'm not talking about, you know, how people have looked at me and said, oh, well, she can help me rewrite my resume, or she can proofread my paper. I'm in school, or, you know, she can help me financially because I know she's going to do well financially. No, I'm not talking about that. But that may be how people are assessing you. But you've got to peep game, okay? And understand, because it's the direction their conversations will go. That'll let you know. I see Terry says adding value to a relationship is very important. It is. You've gotta know what you're bringing. I'll talk about that again. Know what you're bringing to the table, but also know what you want. And here again, I'm telling you to ask for what it is you want. You've got to have that list, even if it's up here in your head. What is it that I want in a relationship? I'm not saying you got to go and look for somebody who's a bails bombing because you know you a whole thief and you might go to jail and they can help bail you out. I'm not talking about that, but assess the value. What are your basic needs for a relationship? And if you don't see that in somebody, then don't get with them. I'm just saying, stop looking at everything that's shiny, because, you know, if you're walking along the beach and you're looking at everything shiny and you're going to try to pick it up, that might be a piece of glass. I'm just saying. Stop adding people till you struggle. You know, you could do bad by yourself and you don't need help starving to death. I'm just saying, I think what they're saying in that, excuse me, what they're saying in that song is, you know, if I'm over here already down to my last and barely eating, why would I have somebody else who is another mouth to feed? So if you are down and depressed, why add somebody to the situation? Like Chrissy said, everything that glitters, I'm gonna say ain't gold, but it is not gold. And stop trying to look and see what it is. You know, I'm not saying don't go pick up the penny that's on the ground. I mean, that to each his own. But that's 1 cent being added to your life. You might want to pick that penny up other than picking that person up. I'm just saying. People are gonna try to latch on to you. And you know, sometimes we all fall on hard times, so I'm not gonna act like we don't. I've fallen on hard times in the past, but guess what? At that time, I didn't go out trying to meet people and date just so I could drop my burdens on them, so they can bear them, so they can upgrade me. But some people do, and they might be sliding in your life, but that's negativity. You gotta protect, you know, protect your mind, protect your peace, protect your assets. Watch out. I mean, because those people are out there. You know, I always say that you should get yourself together before you try to get into a relationship with somebody. That's what you got to do. Get yourself together because, again, you've got to be an asset. What are you offering? I mean, you don't want somebody to have to break you down and tell you, like, hey, you know, you ain't ready for a relationship. You got to assess that and know that for yourself and like, let somebody else be the bearer of bad news. You know, are you truly happy if you're unemployed or if you're underemployed? You can't pay the light bill. Are you truly happy? I'm just saying, are you going to take that into a new relationship? Are you really ready at that point in time? Or are you the negativity trying to latch on to somebody else? I'm saying, don't get mad. Y'all just better assess yourselves. You know, don't go out there and sell the lie that your life is ideal and it's great and try to hook somebody else in just so they can suffer right along with you. Because that's what we're talking about. People who are bringing that negativity around you. And negativity could be broke inness or broke. To stop at the broke. I'm just, you know, I'm just pointing some things out. I just want you to think about them. Beware of those people whose stories just don't add up. You know, I used to ask men. I told y'all I'm working on a new project, dating after divorce, because that was funny. I should that was funny. So I'm gonna have to tell some stories because it was hilarious of the things I went through and put myself through. Excuse me, but that's going to be in my next project in my next book that I'm working on. And there are some rules to that thing. And so I've learned so much. Yes, of course, I'm married now, but hey, I ain't always been married. I haven't always been married. So I'm going to share those things with you. But when somebody's story doesn't add up, you know, I would ask people like, oh, well, what do you do for a living? And do you love your job? Oh, yeah. You know, I like my job. And I would get so many different answers or whatever. But the reason why I was asking the question was so that I could really kind of gauge their level of happiness. I wanted to gauge their level of happiness. Like, you know, if a lot of times, well, people are unhappy in their lives for different reasons. But if they're unhappy with their job, I already know. If they hate their job and they're not making moves to go somewhere else, they're going to be bringing that home every day or it's into your relationship or into your conversation, or they might not even want to talk. I'm just saying, I'm gauging their level of happiness. It's like my litmus test. So that's one of my questions. But also, I want to know how ambitious they are. If you hate your job, okay, what you gonna do about it? You know, are you taking a class, or are you looking for another job? Are you updating your resume? What are you doing? Because I want to know, what are you going to do to fix the situation you're already in? Because again, we're talking about people who are negative or have an attitude or whatever, and that's one of the reasons why some people are walking around here unhappy, because they might be unhappy in their job. So that was my little, like I said, my little assessment. Let me see how you're doing. And then, you know, like I said, I want to know how ambitious they are, because ambitious go-getters, they're not going to just settle for what's given to them. I'm not going to just settle for what's given to me. I'm like, nah, this ain't, not that a job isn't good enough, because I'm always thankful for whatever it is that I have, whatever job I have. But I'm not going to um, go jump into a relationship when I see things, parts of my life that are not happy. So don't be the negativity in somebody else's life either. But somebody who's ambitious, they're going to go out there and they're going to beat the streets and they're going to do whatever they can to get what it is that they want, right? People who are negative, um, who bring that into your life, they can't help it because that's who they are. That's who they are. It's ingrained in them. And those negative characteristics will start rubbing off on you. I'm talking about those the things that you don't like about them. You might start acting just like them. You got to be mindful because you might start acting like them, sounding like them, and you realize I'm not talking about picking up bad habits. I'm talking about you start being like really, like if they have a bad habit, say if they're, somebody who smokes a cigarette, I'm not talking about you picking up that type of habit, or if they're a drinker, you start drinking too. I'm talking about the way they act, their negative attitude, their I don't get the glass is half full versus half empty. You know, you may start being that negative person. Have you become unhappy? You're no longer friendly. You're very intolerant of the things that you once enjoyed. You might want to check yourself because it might be that person is rubbing off on you. I know you're wondering. I said I could do bad by myself. I don't need no help to starve to death. And those negative people, they might be in your life. You might be married to them. That might be your long term girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, mate, whatever you call it. But there are some things that you have to do to release yourself from that. If you notice that, and it depends on what the relationship means to you. And I'm specifically talking to my single folks. What does a relationship mean to you? And do you love it? If you don't love it and you can't live with it, it ain't going away. It's not going to just go away. You're not going to, wish it away. You're not going to outlast it. You're not going to cook the best meal and that just makes it walk out of the door. It's not going to happen. So you have to make some choices. And that's the hard thing because walking away from a person is a hard thing to do. I understand that even when we see negative things about them and we don't agree with who they are, I will admit it. It is hard to walk away from somebody because I don't like being the bad person. I don't, especially when it's a situation where that other person might think things are going well, but I don't believe in wasting a person's time. Um, Now I don't. I don't believe in wasting a person's time, and you got to be open and honest with them and let them know when it's not working. So I've talked about in a relationship, in a marriage, doing a checkpoint, doing a post check every week. That's something that you have to implement in your relationship as well. And hey, how things going? Maybe we need to reassess some things. Maybe we don't need to be together. Maybe this thing ain't working out the way we think it's working out. So, just kind of step back and look at things. And if you can't talk to that person and y'all not married yet, you can't have a conversation. You can't point out something that you disagree with without walking away feeling defeated. You might be with somebody that's negative and you might not want to carry that relationship on or go further. So here are some tips that I came up with for y'all. Okay, I see. Rosa said I had no boundaries written on my forehead. Well, we're going to erase that off. We having boundaries here. We need to talk about how to set some boundaries, don't we? So here are some tips. I say head them off at the path. Those negative people. Remember, I can do bad all by myself, and I don't need no help to starve to death. Don't engage, or maybe you needed to disengage from those people. You know how hard it is to get gum out of the carpet once it gets in there? You can't get it out no matter how hard you try. Every cleaning product you try to use, it just gets harder and darker and deeper. The more you pick at it, it gets messier. That's what it's like when you're dealing with somebody who's latched on to you. You can't get rid of it. So that's why I say head them off at the path. When you start seeing those things, I talked about red flags about a month or so ago. Go back in those videos. I talked about red flags. And look closely. That was the name of the video. Look closely. And choose wisely was the next video. So y'all check those out because I talked about doing that and identifying some of those red flags. But maybe I need to talk about like what do you do? Like how do you get rid of them? What do you say to them? Maybe that needs to be a future video. Y'all like that? Y'all let me know. If you're already with that person, like I said, just walk away now. Let them know, look, hey, it's not working out in whatever way you need to tell them. And do it now. Because I promise you, nothing's going to change. Again, like I said, time, nothing you do is going to change who that person is. You got to accept them for who they are. And accepting them means that you love it. You're not going to complain about it later. You understand that's who they are. And you ride them with it, okay? Of course, I'm not referring to those, again, who are married. You married, I'm not telling you to walk away, but what I will suggest is that you go to counseling to work through those issues. Go to counseling individually. Here I go again, telling you go to therapy because I believe in it. Go to therapy individually and then collectively because you need to work out those things. Give the marriage a try. Give it a fighting chance. Don't just walk away. I'm talking to y'all who haven't gone that far in the commitment, but having conversations, understanding who it is that you're dealing with, and being okay. Remember that I was talking about that movie with the automatic out. Have an automatic out clause in your relationship and say, hey, look, at any point in time, in the beginning, at any point in time you feel like you want to just be done, we're in the talking phase, or before we've made this commitment, just say, you know what, I'm out. Automatic out. You know, maybe it need to be a card that you slap down on the table or what, so that you can move on with your life, so that you can free yourself from that. Because I'm telling you, if you go forward, you're going to continue dealing with that. All right, we got the wisdom. Hey, Helen. She says, sure you can. They show you some of them red flags before you marry, but it's what we allow. You're right. It's what we allow. So open your mouth, ask for what you want. Again, I believe that people can change. They just won't change for you. If they change for you because you've asked them to do that, then they're not going to be happy and they might end up resenting you. You don't want that in your relationship. You definitely don't want that in your marriage. So again, believe people. When they tell you who they are, believe them. Because everybody eventually shows their cards. They're going to show you their hand and show you who they are. And you just have to figure out what to do with that information, right? Figure out what to do with that information and move on. Stop just accepting what people hand to you and be like, okay, I'm gonna just have to be okay with that because, at least I got a man, at least I got a woman, somebody to do X, Y, Z. If you gotta have an at least when talk about your mate, let it go. At least I've been there. What I'm gonna say is, the last thing I'm gonna say is protect your peace. At all costs, you got to protect your peace and don't allow somebody to drag you down with them, with their negativity, with their spirit of negativity, because it gets in your house. Just like smoke gets in your clothes. That negativity will get in your house, it get down in your spirit, and then you become that. And that's not going to get you anywhere where you want to go. If you want to elevate yourself, that spirit of negativity is going to continue to bring you down. So don't let that person and the spirit of negativity slide in and mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Mess with your peace, mess with your your rise to the top. There are things that you want to do in your life. Look around. Is there somebody negative? And you know what? That negative person could be a friend. That one that's always slow clapping. Like, oh yeah, hey girl, I'm so happy for you. You can tell when somebody ain't really happy. Like, you can tell by their reaction. Oh, yeah, congratulations. Yeah, them people. So it could be your friend, your homegirl, your homeboy that you kick it with that ain't never got no money when you go out. You might need to remove that negativity because it's keeping you from the cream from rising to the top. Well, It's been real. You know, I love y'all. I appreciate you for joining me every week, Monday and Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live. I am Miss Counsel, and you know Miss Counsel knows a little bit about everything. I ain't telling you what I heard, but I'm telling you what I know. Please go and like this page, Miss Counsel, and check out my Facebook group, Divorce Like Us. And let me add a third thing. Please go to misscounselknows.com. Check out my brand new website. I love y'all, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a great evening.